Hey guys, I'm back here today. Day 75. Crazy weather that we have here in Kentucky. I think yesterday was like 60 something degrees. I don't remember. But today it's like 36 degrees. It feels a whole hell of a lot colder. The wind is blowing in. It's not pleasant at all. I'm out here today in the Adidas KB8. These were previously known as the Adidas KB8. They were Kobe Bryant shoe, released in 1997. Here's what they look like from the side. Pretty wild looking shoe. I came across this particular pair. Someone sold them to me for $30, but they were brand new. Had the tag still on them. But I think they probably got them at like a Ross Dress for Less or something like that. They are wild looking, but I really wanted a pair and I'm glad to have found them. So one criticism that I want to give right away to the shoe is the lacing. It's kind of, it doesn't really give a good feeling of a lockdown. The laces just don't really, there's not enough points at which it provides the tension. And you also, even when you apply tension and you go to the next set of lace holes, it seems like the previous set of laces or the previous set of lace holes drop their tension. It's kind of hard to explain. It's just it's really loosey-goosey in there, despite multiple attempts to get a feeling of containment. It's just not there. Another thing that's kind of odd is when you get to the very last designated lace hole, it doesn't go up all the way to the top, and instead there is a strap there, which I assume that you use as a lace hole, but and I've done so, but didn't really know for sure if that was its intended design. So if you look here at the side there, that strap, that's the top lace hole, I presume. It runs back there, and I think the intended design is when you pull on that pulls that strap, and to give a little bit more containment there near the ankle, but it really doesn't. Furthermore, it kind of makes me feel uneasy because if I pull on those too much, I do get the sense that those straps could break. So not really a fan of that. I don't feel like the materials would be all that breathable. It's not an issue on a day like this. You might get some ventilation out of that tongue, but it is a pretty thick tongue. But with all of that said, I'm not going to characterize this as a bad shoe. This shoe was originally released in 1997, and looking from that perspective at some of the shoes that I've been recently testing, this shoe isn't bad at all. It's actually nice to be wearing a pair of shoes that's not relying on air technology, gimmicks, and other things. This is pretty much relying on its standard foam of whatever they were using back in the day, and I don't feel as though it's inferior or anything like that compared to, say, the Jordan 12s that I was out in yesterday. Now, I don't think the materials are quite as nice, but the trade-off is that these shoes do feel lighter, and while they are a very similar feeling pair of shoes, they both kind of feel like boots in a way, these big high tops. This particular pair is made with lighter materials and gives it somewhat of a more nimble feeling that I'm sure maybe Kobe appreciated, but maybe he didn't, because then again he left the brand, so who knows. But he didn't leave the brand over this shoe, he left over some other shoes. I think I have those. But so I guess we'll see those in a little while, in a few days or whatever. These shoes aren't half bad. Now, I wasn't able to remove the insole. That seems to be a common theme that I'm finding with shoes from the mid 90s and late 90s. For whatever reason, the insoles are not coming out, but again, I had no problem putting in the plantar fasciitis orthotic that I use, and so I'm rocking that right now. And the shoes, as of this moment, after I've probably been walking for like 20 minutes, they feel fine. Feels great. I want to say thank you to our 26th subscriber, whoever you are. I can't really tell, but thank you all. And on one of my shorts, someone had commented that because of the color in my beard, that it should be an indicator that I'm too old for Nikes and that I need to be wearing a more supportive shoe. Well, maybe they're right, but we've got one life to live. We each get to choose what to do. And because of that, I'll be working till the day I does. I'm here because I want to document kind of my journey in weight loss and kind of document some of the shoes. It's never been about anything else. I don't try to impress people. I am just who I am. So yeah, maybe I'm too old, but I'll be out here as long as I can be and be out enjoying my life. I learned a long time ago to just not care what anybody thinks. Care what anybody thinks. You think I'd be a Bengals fan? After I've been in these shoes for a while, they do feel rather clunky. They are still lightweight and everything for the time. They just feel kind of clunky. There's very little energy return, and because of that, I'm kind of struggling through this walk a little bit. It doesn't help that the temperature is dropping, the wind's blowing. I'm actually seeing some flakes of snow in the air. Feels a little harder to breathe. So I can't fault the shoes too much for that, but still, they're not really doing much to help. I'm hearing an animal out here that I actually have never heard before. I don't know what the crap it is. I can't replicate its sound, but I don't know what it is. I lived out in the country until I was 18, and then later on lived out of eastern Kentucky, so I'm a little familiar with wildlife, and whatever that sound was, I don't exactly know. If I hear it again, I'll try to get it recorded. I didn't hear it as I passed back through there. You know, with these shoes, I'm noticing that the heel pain that I usually have with a lot of shoes, it's kind of a non-factor, but oddly enough, it's kind of shifting some pain towards the knees, both of my knees, and that's not really good. It's kind of hard to get a impression about these shoes, whether I like them or not, because there's some things I really like and other things that's kind of leading me to think that maybe they're not so great. So I've been in these things for 41 minutes. I still have about 10 minutes or so to go. That's probably going to do it for me with these shoes. In closing, there are a lot of things that I do like about this pair and other things that kind of I'm not a big fan of. Still worth keeping for the history of the shoe. So I would still, if you can get them cheap, I'd say they're a pretty cool shoe to have. All right, thanks for dropping by. I will see you hopefully tomorrow.